And so then going to my fourth point is you got to learn the shit. Like you can't just be like, man, I spent 2 days a week or 1 day a week trying this stuff. I'm not any better at fighting. I'm like, so if you train 2 days a week, you'd be getting through 100% more data than you would at 1 day a week. And I know you and I have talked about this before of like getting, when I say going through the data and formalizing how you want to train. A lot of people just get together and spar, which is kind of fun. Like that's fine. I don't think it is an optimal way of learning something. I think doing drills and learning these drills, learning all the stuff those drills have to offer, and then applying those in a sparring environment, phenomenal. I think like 50% of your practice should probably be drilling and the other 50% should probably be sparring.
Which is not how most amp guarders train. If you were just
go and fight a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, and like, I don't want to sound like not to sound braggadocious or whatever. I'm like, I came back at amp guard at a point where I was beating some of the best fighters in the game, some of the best fighters in our kingdom in like a year. And then I was doing it in like I think in 3 years I was winning kingdom tournaments already. And then at 5 years I was already a warlord, and I beat many of my contemporaries to warlord and exceeded what they would accept as the minimum thing. I'm thinking like at the same time, guys I was competitive with at the time, I had double or triple their qualifications in getting their warlord. And that's just because that's my own personal standard. That had nothing to do with my opinion on it. But that's just getting through as many reps as possible. And that's how I'd approach if I want to be better at anything. And sure, there's some stuff where like there are some qualities of my life that were very destructive towards that. But I was also 22, 23. So that was going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
But
if that's
it's like
the worst thing I did in my early 20s was become a warlord, you're doing all right.
Yeah. But like practicing, it's like most people are like, we have a sparring day on Wednesday and then we do park. How much do you fight at park? We do 30 minutes of fighting. You're like, oh, okay. And like, I think I had 2 sparring days and 1 park day. And then when I was really bored, I would do like 30 minutes to an hour on 2 other days, do drills by myself. Just I didn't have anyone to fight with. And that was just pelling and doing footwork. So I basically had 5 training days a week.
Which is pretty common from what I've heard from other warlords, is that 5 to 6 days a week number. Yeah,
I think 3 is the absolute minimum. And it's like that's the amount of time you put into something is proportional to how long it will probably take you to do it. Everyone's different and they achieve it in shorter or longer periods of time, depending on your personal qualities and stuff like that. But it is proportional. If you spend like 1 to 3 days a week doing something, it's going to take you 10 years to do it. If I do it 5 days a week, okay, I just got like 75% of more time. I'm going to achieve that in a much shorter period of time. If I'm doing it 6 or 7 days a week, I'm going to get good pretty fast. An example of that would actually be Warlord Tisco. Tisco did Dagger here for a while. He was bad. He was really bad when he started Amp Guard. And then he started Amp Guard and he could have Warlorded in 3 years. But he chose to he didn't want to take it yet. He had some other things he wanted to achieve before he accepted Warlord. But he was dominating his kingdom tournaments in like 3 years, I think. That's because that kid was grinding super hard. He was like 6 or 7 days a week. He had some homies with him that he fought with. All those guys are really good at fighting now. 2 of them are warlords. The other 2 could have been warlords or should have been warlords already. And that was just because they put in the dedication and time, which that's not normal for a LARP. That's not normal for people. Like that's an impossible thing you should request of somebody. And you're like, that would be an impossible thing if I was thinking about achieving something in a LARP. But for those people, it's not a LARP. It is studying martial arts. Like if you said that to someone who studies martial arts, they'd be like, oh yeah, I do martial arts 6 days a week. You wouldn't even think anything about it. Like I think Sir Brett does at his peak was doing judo 2 times a day, 4 times a week, maybe 5 times a week. And just learning martial arts, you're like, that's just what you want to pursue. So people kind of taken Warlord out of the context of a LARP and kind of made it something else, which it's however you feel about it. That's what it is. So if people want to get good at Warlord, what'd I say? First one, you have to travel, network, create a community, and then learn the stuff and put in the time to actually do it.
I want to just briefly, before we get into the questions, you're talking about people who say that's an unreasonable expectation for a masterhood and a LARP. I would go, at least for the crafting stuff. When I was pushing for my masterhood, I was crafting 5 nights a week.
Yeah. How many hours was it?
2 or 3 hours a night. I mean,
that's a lot.
Let's see if you can see it. Oh, come on, camera. I've been doing paracord today, and I've torn the finger off my skin just because I haven't done a paracord belt in a while, but like other masterhoods in the game other than Warlord take that much time also. You just don't see it as much. And they're going to be more, the serpent ones and the sword ones are probably going to be more time invested overall. They're tangible, but Flame, while they might not be doing as much Monday through Friday or like just off weeks, their events are consumed with the LARP. While you are enjoying feast, they're cooking, or while you're enjoying games, they're cooking feast. While you're enjoying your $40 that you spent for the weekend, they are donating 80 hours of their time.
Yeah.
All of the masterhoods take that much effort. It's just Warlord's the one that is most visible.
I will say.